God's chosen ones, your mission is complete, and it's time to leave. What if everything you've endured, the trials, the struggles, the quiet moments of doubt, and the bursts of faith, has led to this exact moment? You weren't chosen by chance. You were chosen by design, handpicked by the Creator Himself to fulfill a purpose so profound it ripples across eternity. Every tear, every prayer, every step of your journey has been orchestrated with divine precision, shaping you into the vessel of His will. And now, the time has come. The mission that once seemed daunting is no longer ahead of you. It is behind you. The tests you faced were not meant to break you, but to build you, to refine your spirit, and prepare you for a transformation far beyond the confines of this earthly realm. God's voice, though often subtle, has been constant, guiding your path, strengthening your resolve, and whispering truths that have anchored your soul. This is a critical juncture, the culmination of everything your spirit has labored for. Your mission is complete. The trials you faced were the fires of preparation, and now you stand at the threshold of divine breakthrough. The heavens themselves have declared it. You are no longer bound by the burdens of this world. But what does it mean to leave? What does it mean for God to call His chosen ones to a new phase? This is not an ending. It's an ascension. It's a call to rise, to embrace the fulfillment of His perfect plan, and to leave behind what no longer serves your higher purpose. The Creator's decision is final, and it is glorious. You've done what He sent you to do. You've lived as a testament to His power and grace. Now, as you prepare to step into what lies beyond, you are invited to pause, to reflect, and to recognize the significance of this moment. This isn't just your story, it's God's story, written through you, for the world to see. You are His chosen, and your mission has been fulfilled. What happens next will change everything. If you feel aligned with this message, comment 999 below. It's a divine number. Before we dive in, I have a small request. If this content resonates with you, please click like, share, and subscribe. Your support helps this wisdom reach others and keeps us creating meaningful content for you. Understanding spiritual resistance challenges often intensify near the end of a divine mission, much like a storm that grows fiercer before the calm. This phenomenon is not a sign of failure, but a testament to the spiritual progress being made. As a soul draws closer to fulfilling its God-given purpose, opposing forces attempt to obstruct the path, much like shadows growing longer as the sun sets. These challenges serve as both tests of faith and opportunities to demonstrate unwavering trust in God. The final stages of a mission are like climbing the steepest part of a mountain, exhausting and treacherous, yet necessary to reach the summit. Every obstacle faced in these moments is not designed to defeat, but to strengthen, revealing the depth of one's faith and determination. Spiritual attacks play a pivotal role in refining the soul. They act as a forge, much like fire, purifying gold. These moments of adversity strip away distractions, illusions, and doubts, leaving behind a soul that is more aligned with God's will. The weight of these attacks often feels unbearable, but they are instruments of growth, sharpening the spirit and deepening one's reliance on divine strength. When confronted with such trials, the chosen ones are called to lean not on their own understanding, but on God's wisdom. These challenges reveal the fragile areas of the soul, much like cracks in pottery, only to fill them with divine light and grace. Through this refining process, chosen ones emerge stronger, more resilient, and more attuned to their higher calling. Perseverance becomes a sacred act during these times, marking the chosen one's connection to God's will. It is not mere endurance, but an active declaration of faith, like a tree standing tall in the face of a storm. Every step taken, despite the weight of hardship, becomes a testament to the bond between the soul and its Creator. Perseverance reveals the unbreakable trust that chosen ones have in the path God has laid before them. It is a silent but powerful acknowledgement that the mission is greater than the pain or fear they may face. Like a candle burning steadily in the dark, perseverance illuminates the path forward and inspires others to hold fast to their faith. Reflecting on the blessings and lessons gained throughout the journey is essential for spiritual growth. Each trial and triumph holds a treasure chest of wisdom, waiting to be unlocked through introspection. These lessons are like seeds planted in the soil of the soul, blossoming into understanding and gratitude over time. The blessings, both big and small, become reminders of God's constant presence and provision. Taking time to reflect allows chosen ones to see the intricate tapestry of their journey, where every thread of hardship and joy is woven together by God's hand. This reflection is not just an act of remembrance, but a way to honor the journey and the transformation it has brought. The role of the spiritual community in strengthening faith cannot be overstated. A community of like-minded individuals provides encouragement, guidance, and a sense of belonging. Much like a fire burns brighter when surrounded by other flames, the chosen ones find their faith fortified when they are uplifted by those who share their spiritual values. In times of struggle, the prayers, support, and shared wisdom of a community act as a lifeline, reminding them they are not alone in their mission. This collective strength mirrors the way individual instruments combine to create a harmonious symphony, amplifying the power of faith and love. Gratitude becomes a powerful force in aligning with God's divine plan. It is not merely an expression of thanks, but a profound acknowledgement of God's presence in every aspect of life. Gratitude shifts the focus from what is lacking to what has been abundantly given, creating a posture of humility and trust. Like a magnet, it draws the soul closer to God's heart and aligns it with His purposes. In moments of gratitude, the chosen ones can see the beauty in their struggles and the hidden blessings in their trials. This act of giving thanks becomes a way to say, "I trust you, God, in all things," strengthening the bond between the soul and its Creator. Spiritual resistance, though daunting, holds deep spiritual significance. It is a sign that the chosen ones are on the right path, for darkness only resists when it feels threatened by the light. This resistance, whether in the form of external challenges or internal doubts, is not meant to discourage, but to confirm that progress is being made. It is like the wind pushing against a bird in flight. It may make the journey harder, but it also builds strength and endurance. Understanding this resistance allows chosen ones to face it with courage, knowing it is a part of their transformation and ultimate alignment with God's will. Each of these elements, challenges, perseverance, gratitude, community, and spiritual attacks, plays a vital role in the journey of God's chosen ones. They are not obstacles, but stepping stones, guiding the soul closer to its divine purpose. Like pieces of a puzzle, they come together to reveal the bigger picture, one that reflects God's glory and the fulfillment of His perfect plan. The completion of trials, a sign of readiness. The completion of trials marks a powerful moment in a divine mission, signaling that one is ready for the next phase. Much like a sculptor chiseling away at a block of marble, each hardship and struggle shapes the soul into something finer. Hardships are not random obstacles, but part of a larger, divine process that molds and refines the spirit. It's like a piece of clay on a potter's wheel. Through pressure, it is carefully molded into a vessel of purpose. Trials, though painful, are tools that God uses to perfect and strengthen His chosen ones. When a soul endures hardships with faith, it becomes like iron in a forge, heated and hammered into a resilient form. The completion of a trial is not merely a sign of endurance, but of transformation. A soul that has been refined through fire and is now ready for greater things. It is in this moment that one can see how each struggle has prepared them for their divine purpose. What once seemed like insurmountable barriers become stepping stones, each leading closer to the fulfillment of God's plan. Endurance plays a critical role in unlocking spiritual maturity, serving as the key that opens the door to greater understanding. It is the quiet, persistent strength that allows a soul to endure the storms of life without being broken. Like a tree that bends in the wind but does not snap, endurance allows one to withstand trials without losing faith or hope. Spiritual maturity doesn't come from moments of ease, but from the resilience shown in times of difficulty. Just as a seed must break through the soil to grow into a plant, a soul must endure hardships to grow into its full spiritual potential. Endurance builds strength, but more than that, it deepens one's relationship with God. It is through endurance that a person learns to trust God completely, to lean not on their own understanding, but on His wisdom. This kind of trust is like a deep river that flows steadily, unshaken by the storms above. It is in the quiet moments of perseverance that a person grows spiritually, learning that God's plan unfolds not when we want it to, but when we are ready for it. When the trials come to an end, it is God's confirmation that the mission has reached its completion. Much like the final note of a symphony, it signals that the purpose has been fulfilled. There is a peace that settles in, an unspoken understanding that this chapter of the journey is over. It is the stillness after the storm, when the soul can take a deep breath and reflect on the journey completed. This confirmation comes in many forms, through a sense of inner peace, through a sudden clarity, or through God's voice speaking directly to the heart. It is a moment of recognition that everything endured has led to this conclusion, where the work that was set out to be done is now complete. Just as an artist steps back to admire a painting upon its completion, God's chosen ones recognize the depth of their journey when the trials subside, realizing that the mission has been fully realized. The completion of these trials does not signify an end, but rather a transition into a new phase where the soul is ready to walk in the fullness of its purpose. God's voice is often heard in moments of guidance and encouragement, especially during times of transition. This voice is not always loud or dramatic, but often comes as a quiet whisper, like a breeze that gently moves through the trees. It is in the stillness that the chosen ones hear God's direction most clearly. God uses people, situations, and even the smallest moments to affirm His chosen ones, guiding them with subtle but undeniable signs. Like a parent offering gentle nudges to a child, God's guidance is constant and loving, encouraging the soul to stay on the path even when the way seems unclear. Through others, God's messages are often delivered, whether through a word of encouragement, a piece of advice, or a reminder of His promises. These affirmations come at just the right time, like a light in the darkness, illuminating the way forward. In this way, God works through people to strengthen the faith of his chosen ones, providing reassurance and the comfort needed to continue the journey. Remaining attuned to divine signs and messages is essential for recognizing God's guidance. Just as a musician listens closely to the notes of a melody, the chosen ones must remain sensitive to the subtle cues that God provides. These signs may come in many forms: a certain verse of scripture that resonates deeply, a message that appears unexpectedly in a conversation, or a quiet moment of peace during chaos. These are not coincidences, but deliberate signals that God is directing his chosen ones on their path. Paying attention to these signs is like watching for the first rays of sunlight after a long night. It is the beginning of a new phase, a fresh start. It is in these moments that God confirms his presence, offering reassurance and hope for the future. The ability to recognize these messages requires a heart that is open and receptive, attuned to God's frequency, much like a radio tuning in to the right station. When the soul remains in sync with God, the signs become clear, and the path forward reveals itself. Finding strength in God's reassurance during times of transition is an essential aspect of spiritual growth. Transitions can often feel uncertain, like walking into a fog where the destination is unclear. But God's reassurance acts like a steady hand guiding the soul through the mist. It provides the strength to take the next step, even when the way forward seems unknown. This reassurance can come in many forms: through a feeling of peace, a sense of God's presence, or the quiet confidence that comes from knowing that the journey is in his hands. It is like a lighthouse guiding ships through a storm, offering a beacon of light in the darkness. The strength that comes from God's reassurance is not a fleeting feeling, but a deep, abiding confidence that remains even in the most uncertain of times. It is this strength that allows the chosen ones to move forward, trusting that God's plan is unfolding perfectly, even when the next steps are not immediately clear. It is through his reassurance that the soul is able to rest in the knowledge that all things are working together for a greater purpose. God's voice, through guidance, signs, and encouragement, helps his chosen ones navigate the complexities of their journey. By remaining receptive to his will and trusting in his divine timing, the chosen ones continue to grow and mature spiritually, ready to step into the fullness of their purpose with unwavering faith and trust. Patience and trust in God's timing. Patience is often misunderstood as merely waiting without action, but in the context of divine timing, it is much more. The waiting period is not a passive experience. It is a time of intense spiritual preparation. It is as though the soul is being prepared like a tree in winter, enduring a season of dormancy before it bursts into full bloom in spring. During this waiting time, the soul is being refined, shaped, and strengthened, even though it may feel like nothing is happening on the surface. Just as a sculptor carefully chisels away at a block of marble, each moment of waiting chips away at distractions, doubts, and impatience, revealing the true shape of the divine purpose. This period of stillness may seem frustrating, but it is essential for growth. It is the time when roots are planted deep, the foundation is solidified, and the soil is prepared for the next season of life. In times of waiting, embracing God's timing becomes a vital practice. Surrendering personal control can feel difficult, especially when desires and dreams are strong. It's like being in a boat on a river, knowing the destination, but not being able to control the current. You can either fight the flow and exhaust yourself, or you can allow the current to guide you, trusting that it knows the way. When you embrace God's timing, you release the need to control the outcome. It is an act of faith, letting go of the timeline you've set and accepting that God's timing is always perfect, even if it's not the timing you expected. The tension between what we want and what is being offered can be like trying to fit a square peg into a round hole, uncomfortable and unsatisfying. But when we let go and trust, the pieces fit together naturally. The soul learns to rest in the fact that God is not late, and neither are we. Trusting in His timing means accepting that the right moment will come, and when it does, everything will fall into place as it should. Trusting God's timing often involves letting go of our desire for immediate results. We live in a world where everything moves quickly, where instant gratification is often just a click away. But spiritual growth doesn't operate on this same timeline. It's like planting a seed and waiting for it to grow. You can't rush the process. The seed doesn't sprout overnight, nor does it grow to its full height in an instant. Just as a tree takes time to grow strong and tall, so does the Spirit. Patience, then, is not about simply passing the time. It's about trusting that the waiting is part of the divine process. It's an acknowledgement that the space between the asking and the receiving is not wasted time. During this waiting, the soul is being prepared, not only for what is to come, but also for the person it must become in order to handle the blessings ahead. Patience teaches resilience, strength, and trust in God's ability to work things out at the right time. Patience also helps smooth the way for a transition that might otherwise feel jarring or overwhelming. When we trust in God's perfect timing, we allow ourselves to be in sync with His will, and this alignment makes the transition feel more natural, even if it involves significant changes. It's like a dancer moving to the rhythm of the music. When you're in step with the beat, every movement feels effortless and graceful. But if you're out of sync, even the simplest steps can feel clumsy and forced. When we resist God's timing, we fight against the flow of His plan, making the journey harder and more stressful. But when we allow ourselves to move in harmony with it, we experience a smoother transition, even in the face of challenges. Patience teaches us to navigate these changes with grace and ease, trusting that what seems like an obstacle is actually part of a divine choreography. The more we practice patience, the more naturally we align with God's timing, and the smoother the transition becomes. During these times of waiting, we also come to realize that God's timing is not just about a specific moment, but about the process that prepares us for that moment. Like an athlete who trains for years for a single race, the journey of spiritual growth is not about rushing to the finish line, but about the training that strengthens the body and mind. Each day spent waiting, each moment spent in patience, is like building muscle, refining character, and deepening faith. The waiting period becomes a time of inner transformation, and through it, we grow stronger and more equipped for what lies ahead. It's not about getting to the destination quickly, but about becoming the person we need to be when we arrive. The lessons learned during this time of waiting shape us, like a sculptor shaping the clay, so that when the time comes for the transition, we are ready. There is a deep trust in the rhythm of God's plan that emerges when we embrace patience. It's like a gardener tending to plants, knowing that each plant has its own time to bloom. Some may bloom quickly, others more slowly, but all are beautiful in their own time. Patience teaches us to trust that everything is unfolding as it should, and that every season of waiting serves a purpose in the larger picture. We are often so focused on the destination that we forget to appreciate the journey. But when we learn to wait patiently, we begin to see that the journey itself is the gift. Every moment of waiting is a step towards becoming more in tune with God's will. It's through patience that we learn to trust in the process and find peace in the space between where we are and where we are going. Trusting in God's timing and allowing patience to shape our lives brings a sense of peace that cannot be found in rushing or forcing things to happen. It's like sitting by a river, watching the water flow at its own pace, knowing that it's heading toward the sea. We don't need to hurry the water. It's already moving in the direction it's meant to go. Similarly, when we trust God's timing, we can rest in the knowledge that everything is unfolding perfectly in its own time. Through patience, we align ourselves with God's divine plan, and in doing so, we prepare ourselves for the transitions that lie ahead, ready to receive all that He has prepared for us. Deepening the bond with God. Deepening the bond with God begins with the understanding that a personal relationship with Him is far more important than any external ritual or act. It's not the outward signs that define a person's faith, but the inner connection they nurture with God. Just as a tree's roots go deep into the soil, unseen but vital for growth, a personal relationship with God strengthens the soul from within. It's easy to get caught up in religious practices, attending services, following traditions, and performing rituals, but these are merely external expressions of an internal truth. The true essence of faith is not found in what can be seen, but in the silent, personal moments shared between an individual and God. A deep relationship with God is like the bond between a parent and child, one that goes beyond words and actions and is built on trust, love, and understanding. It is in the quiet moments of prayer, in the meditative stillness, that the soul draws closest to God, feeling His presence and guidance. When individuals prioritize this personal relationship over external acts, they begin to experience a transformation within. Just as a plant needs sunlight and water to grow, the soul requires the nourishing presence of God to thrive. It's not the rituals that provide this nourishment, but the genuine connection. This bond helps the chosen ones navigate the final stages of their mission with clarity and strength. When trials seem overwhelming, or when the path ahead is uncertain, it is the personal connection with God that provides the guidance and peace needed to press forward. Like a compass pointing north, this relationship helps the soul stay focused, aligned with God's will, and grounded in His purpose. In moments of doubt or struggle, it's the whisper of God's voice within the heart that offers direction, reassurance, and comfort. The deeper the relationship, the stronger the ability to hear that voice, leading the chosen ones through even the darkest times. In times of transition, when the mission is nearing completion, this bond becomes even more crucial. The final stages of a divine mission can be daunting and uncertain, but the closeness to God ensures that the chosen ones are never alone. Just as a traveler relies on a map to reach their destination, the chosen ones rely on their relationship with God to guide them through the final steps of their journey. Each prayer, each moment spent in quiet reflection strengthens this connection, creating a solid foundation for navigating the challenges that may arise. It is in these intimate moments with God that the soul finds courage and clarity, even when the path ahead is unclear. The deep bond with God becomes the anchor that keeps the soul grounded, even as external circumstances may shift or change. This relationship is a source of unshakable strength, empowering the chosen ones to complete their mission with grace and purpose. The eternal nature of the bond with God is one of the most profound aspects of this relationship. Unlike temporary connections or fleeting friendships, the relationship with God endures beyond the earthly realm. It's a bond that transcends time and space, rooted in the eternal love and purpose that God has for each individual. Just as a parent's love for their child remains constant, no matter the distance or circumstances, the love and connection between God and His chosen ones remains unbroken. Even when the mission on earth is complete, this bond continues to grow and evolve. The chosen ones may no longer be on the same physical path, but their connection to God remains as strong as ever. It's a relationship that goes beyond life's temporary challenges and extends into eternity. The sense of divine companionship does not end when the earthly journey is over, but rather continues into a new phase of existence, one where the soul experiences the fullness of God's love and presence in ways that go beyond human understanding. This eternal bond is a source of comfort and hope. The chosen ones are never truly alone because God's presence is always with them, guiding and supporting them, even after the mission is completed. It's like a thread that ties them to the divine, a constant connection that can never be severed. This bond is not limited by time, space, or circumstance. It is a living, breathing relationship that evolves as the soul continues its journey even beyond earthly life. It is the ultimate assurance that no matter what comes, God's love and guidance will always be there, steady and unchanging, a rock to stand on through every season of life. The chosen ones can rest in the knowledge that their connection with God is eternal, transcending the physical world and continuing in a deeper, more profound way. In this way, deepening the bond with God is not just about strengthening the relationship during times of trial or struggle, but about building an eternal foundation that lasts beyond the mission. It is a process of continually drawing closer to God, nurturing the connection, and trusting that He is always with them. This bond becomes the core of the chosen one's identity, the unshakable truth that sustains them through every season of life. It is the wellspring of their strength, the source of their peace, and the foundation of their purpose. Through this relationship, the soul is able to navigate the final stages of its mission with unwavering confidence, knowing that the bond with God is eternal and unbreakable. No matter where life leads, this connection will always be there, guiding, comforting, and empowering the chosen ones every step of the way. Leaving a legacy and trusting God's plan. Leaving a legacy is not about monuments or accolades, but about the quiet ripples created in the lives of others. When the chosen ones complete their divine mission, the impact is often felt far beyond their immediate reach. Their journey becomes a testimony of God's work in their lives, leaving an indelible mark on the world. It's like planting seeds in fertile soil. Though the seeds themselves may not be visible to everyone, the fruits they bear will continue to nourish and grow for generations to come. The chosen one's actions, their unwavering faith, and the example they set ripple outward, influencing others in ways they may never fully see or understand. These ripples reach hearts and minds, inspire courage, and help others realize that they too are capable of fulfilling God's purpose in their own lives. The impact of their mission is not measured by the number of people who praise them, but by the transformation they spark in others. Like a candle that lights another without losing its flame, the chosen ones pass on their light, igniting faith and hope in the hearts of those who witness their journey. It's not about fame or recognition. Rather, It's about how the essence of their journey continues to inspire others to embark on their own spiritual path. When the chosen ones walk in alignment with God's will, they serve as living proof that divine purpose is real and attainable. Their legacy is the change they help inspire in the world, the quiet yet profound shifts they create in the hearts of others. This is a legacy not of worldly achievements, but of spiritual influence, one that outlasts any earthly measure of success. In leaving a legacy, the chosen ones also leave encouragement for others to continue their spiritual journeys. Every step they take, every challenge they overcome, becomes a lesson for those who are walking similar paths. It's like the trail left behind by a hiker on a mountain. Each footprint serves as a guide for others to follow. When others see how the chosen ones overcame obstacles with faith, how they trusted in God even when the road seemed uncertain, they find strength to continue their own journeys. The lessons learned through the chosen ones' struggles and triumphs become a source of inspiration and encouragement. Their perseverance in the face of adversity becomes a powerful reminder that spiritual growth is not always easy, but it is always worth it. This encouragement is the spark that drives others to keep moving forward, to trust that their own journey has meaning and purpose. As the chosen ones step into the next phase of their divine mission, they remind others that God's plan is perfect and worthy of full trust. It can be easy to doubt or question God's decisions, especially when the path seems unclear or when obstacles arise. But the chosen ones, through their own lives, demonstrate the truth that God's plan is always for the highest good. Trusting God's plan is like a child trusting a parent to guide them, even when they can't see the full picture. The chosen ones serve as living proof that God's decisions are not random or careless, but are rooted in wisdom and love. Their lives are testimony to the fact that, even when the journey is difficult, God's plan is always the right one. Trusting in that plan requires letting go of the need to control every detail, allowing the divine purpose to unfold in its own time. The chosen ones, by walking faithfully in God's will, show others that God's plan is always good, always perfect, and always worth following. The reminder that God's plan is perfect is not just a comforting thought, but a call to action. When we trust in God's plan, we are free from the burden of uncertainty. It's like being in a boat on the ocean, knowing the current will carry us to our destination, even though we can't see the shore yet. The chosen ones' trust in God's timing, even when it's hard to understand, becomes an example for others to follow. They show that even in the moments of doubt, it is possible to surrender to God's will, knowing that His plan is always unfolding perfectly. This trust in God's plan creates a ripple effect that encourages others to trust more fully, to let go of fear, and to walk confidently in their own divine purpose. When the chosen ones leave their legacy, they leave behind a powerful reminder that God's decisions are always guided by love and wisdom, and that trusting in His plan is the surest path to fulfillment. Their mission and the legacy they leave behind is a message of hope and faith that transcends time and circumstance. It speaks to the hearts of those who may be struggling, those who may feel uncertain or lost. The chosen ones show that no matter how difficult the journey may seem, trusting in God's plan brings peace and fulfillment. They serve as a living reminder that even in the darkest times, God's plan is unfolding, and His will is always perfect. Their legacy is one of trust, encouragement, and hope, an eternal message for those who come after them, urging them to walk in faith, trust in God's plan, and continue their own spiritual journey with the same unwavering conviction. In this way, the chosen ones leave more than just memories. They leave a living testament to the power of faith and trust in God's will. Their legacy is not about what they accomplish in the world, but about how they help others see the divine in their own lives. Through their example, others find the courage to keep moving forward, trusting in God's perfect plan for them. Their mission and the legacy they leave behind will continue to inspire and encourage long after their earthly journey is complete. If this message resonated with you, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Your support helps us continue sharing these powerful insights with others. Thank you for being a part of this journey.